Hey everybody. So I just want to talk about earlier today. I had we were going through a live session trying to add a hotspot system to the Lucidview setup on Mikrotik that I had set up yesterday, and so I came to a fun conclusion. So first off, I'm not going to say it's impossible because I can't prove that it's not, but just because of the way the two systems are set up, uh, those two, at least in the way the vendors provide the scripts, they don't play well together at all. So, yeah, so essentially what happened was I had started off with the Lucidview script, and then I added the hotspot system script. Well, I didn't have a functional network, so after I cut the stream, I started tinkering around. I decided to nuke and pave the whole setup, and so what had happened was we ended up uh, this time starting with hotspot system itself. Then I generated an updated version of the LucidView script to use the newer IP address range for that from the hotspot system. So at that point, the hotspot system was working. The enforcer was showing as online. Great, right? Except content filtering wasn't working, and because content filtering wasn't working, there's no way to know that the rest of the system was working. So during the video, I had showed you the hotspot system, and I have a live hotspot at a local restaurant in South Pekin, Illinois called RJ's Cafe. So if you're in the area, you should check them out. You just check them out on Facebook, get their hours. But at any rate, I had set them up with a half light that's running the hotspot system software. And so the cool thing is there is content filtering. So the way you would implement content filtering with hotspot system, instead of trying to run the content filtering and IPS on the router itself, you would actually just use a DNS filtering service to do it. So I had mentioned there was DNSfilter.com, and that costs money. And so, depending on if you're just trying to experiment, so one of the things that I'm going to recommend, here's what we're using on that one, and it is um, that Cloudflare has a service for managing IP or content filtering. So let me switch you over to the HP stream here, and we'll show you what this is called. It's called Cloudflare Zero Trust. And so here we're looking at it. This is what the portal looks like. And so we go here to Gateway. We set up locations. So there we go, RJ's Cafe. And so all of that can be set up. So if we're looking at, here's like their content policy. So you can't surf porn there. Um, like there's a whole bunch of way more categories than Lucidview has. So again, Cloudflare does have like a bit more comprehensive service, I think, as far as like the number of categories. But that doesn't mean that Lucidview's system isn't as complete. I say that because they definitely have a lot of categories. They definitely update things, and there's a good chance that some of the categories here are lumped into broader categories on the Lucidview side. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Um, so moving forward, I don't think that there is like I don't want to make this video long. I just wanted to talk about what we've got, what happened earlier today, and what the actual solution was. So in our test lab that we are building, simulating an actual environment, we're going to forego the hotspot system. So and the bright side is you really like if you're really setting up a hotspot on in a live business network, you actually don't want the public Wi-Fi on the same network or even through the same devices as your core business network. So what would actually happen in this case is if I were to properly simulate what I would do in a live environment, um, I instead of branching off of the CRS109. So just to let you know, I use this little Netgear router that I flashed with OpenWRT. Um, so the way my home setup is, it's a rented apartment, so I don't actually have hard wires running anywhere. And so essentially, I'm using this little uh, router that's been flashed with OpenWRT to use the antennas as it links into my home wireless, and it gives me a network that I can connect to things here in my room here that I use as a studio. So yeah, so it definitely, like when I set this up, it's a stand-in for say a Comcast modem. So it's got multiple ports. So if I were to actually treat this as, like a live business network, I would take say a half light and plug into one of the other LAN ports and set that configuration up with the hotspot system and use that completely as um, as the actual public hotspot, and it would be a separate system entirely from the core business network on its own subnets. It wouldn't be able to access anything on the business network, and that would be the proper way to set up a network and keep it secure. That's very important in the case of like PCI compliance. So if you're processing credit cards on your network, you don't want that. Especially if you've got a point of sale network, that's yet another VLAN that you would have to set up on your network to make sure that everything is properly separated. So the fact that in this simulation, that in this exercise, that we couldn't actually make hotspot system work alongside LucidView, that's actually not a bad thing because you really wouldn't do that anyway. So, thanks to the way things work, I didn't get to show you a way to do something you should not do in real life. So yeah, that kind of worked out. But I just like to show the different things, right? Because there's some cool stuff that you can do with Mikrotik, and those are some of my favorites so far. Um, I would have probably used this as an opportunity to show you the Remotewinbox, but as of earlier tonight, let me see if the site's back up. For some reason, the site went down, and yeah, right now, if you go to remotewinbox.com, here is what you see. They are having problems, and it almost looks like they're using WordPress, but yeah, so I don't know, but they got to fix their site. I was gonna sign up for it, make an account, and start working on this, but unfortunately I couldn't do that. So we gotta wait for uh, them to fix their site. Shouldn't be too long. This is actually more than what it showed earlier. Like it just flat out wasn't loading. So um, I'm kind of curious to see what they come up with. See. Let me see if they have like a Twitter announcement. Yeah, this account doesn't exist. And yeah, so yeah, this is interesting. So yeah, check this out. Google or Bing says there was one at some point. 34 posts, 16 followers, joined 2 years ago, whatever, right? And yeah, we go here and this account doesn't exist. So unless they blocked me, which is not possible. But yeah, yeah, this tweet is from an account. Yeah. So they just yeah, my account hasn't been around and I've never interacted with them. So there's like not a snowball's chance in hell that they would have blocked me because they don't know who I am. But either way, so for some reason their web presence is down. I don't know if that's a sign of problems. I'm gonna look into it and find out for you. But yeah, definitely let's plan on some more videos with Mikrotik this week. I'm looking forward to doing some more stuff with Mikrotik. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and end this. and call this, we're going to call this out, and you have a good one.